AndHeGames.com, and today I'm going to run through a gameplay of Master Thief, which is a free printable board game that you can get at AndHeGames.com. Just be showing you the gameplay, so you'll just need to cut out all the pieces, have a coin, a couple of dice, and some markers. I'm using coffee beans, they work well. And today it's going to be Seth Godin versus Worf. So let's begin. To set up, if this is your first game, you're going to put a coffee bean on the first game marker and one on each of the first squares of the corruption meters. Okay? And then each player is going to roll a die, so Worf rolls a 5, Seth rolls a 5, so they have to re-roll. Okay, so Seth rolled a 2, so he gets to select his side. Now you take the room conditions, you mix them up and then deal them according to the light gray numbers. So 1 will be your first room condition, and so on. Now each room, most rooms have a corresponding Master Thief. When the Master Thief is in that room, he can move on to the next room after skipping one turn for free, instead of rolling like you usually would. So we're going to put the Master Thieves in a hat, and each player is going to draw one. Worf is going to be the Brute Forcer, which is very applicable, and Seth is going to be the Wire Cutter. Okay, so Seth's going first. He's going to pick his side. So he's going to look, and the silent alarm is the room, the corresponding room for the Wire Cutter that he will pass for free. So he's going to pick that side, putting Worf on the other side. But Worf, that means Worf is going to go first because Seth chose the side. So we're also going to pick one of the prizes to put at the top so you can keep track of a score. I'm going to put the iPad up there. Okay. Alright, so now Worf is going to go first, and during his turn he can either roll to move on to the next room, which he will do successfully if he the total of the 2 dice is at or greater a number there. Or he can roll to raise his corruption, which he raises the corruption 1 space if he rolls a 5 or a 6 on one or both of his dice. He can only move up one corruption, one box in the corruption meter per turn. So he's going to roll to advance, roll his advancement dice. He's going to announce that first, because if he doesn't, he has to re-roll. 4, that's 5, and that is not 6 or above, so he can't move on, so it will be Seth's turn. Seth is going to roll to advance. He rolled a 8, which is at 6, above 6, so he will move on to the next room, and it will be Worf's turn again. Worf is, his side is a little harder than Seth's. Looks like Seth's going to win at this point, so Worf is going to start rolling some corruption die to give him a bit of an advantage, hopefully. So he's going to roll to raise his corruption meter. We'll make Worf player 1. Now he rolled 2 5s, but you can only raise the corruption meter 1 per turn, so he's going to move up 1, and it will be on a gray space on the corruption meter, which means he can draw a new Master Thief and replace either one of the Master Thieves if he wants to, which he will. And he draws Laser Dodger. Now, that doesn't help him at all, but the Laser's room is on Seth's side, but it's at a lower level than the silent alarm, so he's going to go ahead and swap him out, because then he'll get stuck in the final room rather than, bypassing it immediately. So that'll be a bit of an advantage for him. Seth's going to keep going, keep advancing, so he's going to roll. He rolls a 10, so that will move him up to the next room. Worf is now going to start moving, so that's 8. I'll move him up. Now he's in a dark room, which means advancement rolls are -1 for him there, so that's a disadvantage. Seth's going to roll again to move, so he rolled an 8, which just squeaks him into the next room. Now this room is the corresponding room for his thief, his Master Thief, right now, the Laser Dodger and the lasers, so that means his next turn he can roll for corruption, and then the turn after that he moves on for free, doesn't have to roll. So Worf's going to roll for corruption again. He got a 6, so that means his corruption moves up 1. This space is all of his advancement rolls are +1 now, so that will give him a bit of an advantage. So Seth will roll again, nothing. Worf will roll to move on, 6. Now he is +1 because of his corruption meter, so that counts as a 7, which will move him successfully into the next room.
Only he's in a dark room.
No, only he's in a dark room. Thank you. He's in a dark room, which is -1, so that won't move him on. Seth Godin is going to roll to move on.
He just gets to move on automatically.
Yes, true. He gets to move on automatically because actually he rolls for his corruption. That's what he's going to do. So 6, he's going to raise his corruption 1. So the turn in between the time you move to your corresponding room and your automatic move on, you can roll for corruption. Or you can roll to go to the next room, but that's not really going to help you very much, so roll for corruption. And he can draw a new Master Thief if he wants to, but he's not going to because that's not going to help him or hurt Worf at all. Okay, Worf's going to go back and try to roll to move on. 9, so it would be -1 and +1, so stays at 9. Alright, now he's on the gum room, which means he skips his first turn, so essentially Seth Godin gets 2 turns, so he'll move on automatically because it's his corresponding room, and then he'll roll to move on to the final room because Worf skips his turn. Nothing. Worf is going to roll to move on. That will do it.
He had to skip that turn.
Nope, Seth Godin took 2 turns.
Okay.
So that's... now Seth is going to roll his corruption meter because it'll make it a little easier to squeak into the final room. Got a 6, so he'll move the corruption. Now his advancement rolls are +1. Worf's going to roll. Now they just got to roll back and forth advancement rolls until we get to the end here. So 8, but he is +1 because of his corruption, so that moves him on to the next room. Seth, sweating a little bit here. Worf. Oh, Worf gets a 10. +1 is 11, which will move him on to the final room, and Worf has the iPad. So, that's how you play Master Thief. It's totally free. You can download a PDF at AndHeGames.com. Just click on the Paper Games link there, and you can download it there, and let me know what you think.